Hello and welcome to the Arizona Wildcats post-game show. I'm Michael Lev with the Arizona Daily Star. This is my pal Zack Rosenblatt. We're here at Arizona Stadium where earlier tonight, Zack, Arizona defeated UCLA 47-30. A lot of us thought Arizona was going to win this game.
I was the only one that didn't predict
You
that.
didn't. I don't think anyone thought they were going to win by 17 points. I don't think anyone thought they'd be 4-2 at this point in the season.
It never really felt close, by the way. It never actually felt close.
It didn't, right?
There was 10-point deficit at one point, but it still didn't feel like Arizona really was in trouble, though.
It felt like they were in control, and it feels like now they might be able to do something this season. You know, it just feels like there's a world of possibilities that has opened up because of Khalil Tate's ascent, because of this young defense that's scrapping and making a lot of plays, and the fact that the Pac-12 is like completely wide open.
Fire.
Like as we're having this conversation right now, Washington is losing at Arizona State. Washington State lost at Cal, whom Arizona visits next week. It just feels like anything is possible. But let's start with Khalil Tate. He's been the story of the week. He's been the story since last Saturday. What did you see out of him tonight?
Much of the same. I mean, we talked about in our Facebook Live before the game. We said the biggest thing at least I said the thing I'm most interested in is how he handles a team who has a full week of prep to defend him. To be fair, I don't think UCLA's defense is as good as it should be for a team with 5-star guys all over the place. But like he was picking them apart. If he would make a mistake, he recovered from it. Like that was a big theme last week. Maybe he didn't make all the right reads, but he made them work. and he threw the ball well again. He didn't make any mistakes at all this whole game. He didn't turn the ball over. He hasn't either week. Where the game before that, Brandon Dawkins kind of cost Arizona a game with all his turnovers. So it's interesting. I kind of wrote about this for my story off the game. It might be the ultimate what if in Arizona history that he didn't start from week one. Like maybe they're 6-0 right now if he starts. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen, but it's just amazing. He's just completely changed the course of this program's trajectory. One player, like it's remarkable.
It's true. Obviously, he ran the ball extremely well again tonight, going for 230 yards, which gives him 557 in the last 2 weeks, which is an insane total. I was really impressed with the patience that he showed in the pocket, the accuracy with which he threw the ball, and also the balls that weren't completed. There was no chance they could be intercepted.
Yeah,
there were a couple balls in the end zone.
If you're going to throw an incompletion, you don't want to give the other team a chance to
right.
Take
there was
away.
only one guy on each of on those plays in the end zone who could have caught the ball, and it was Arizona's receivers. They weren't open. He threw them kind of up and away from where the defense was. He really managed the game well. I always talk about this. Every quarterback is a game manager. No matter how spectacular they are, no matter what their profile is, he managed this game well. There was only one
He's
negative.
making the right reads.
He's
like
making
Brandon
the right
Dawkins
reads.
Wasn't doing, not to keep going back to Brandon, but like that's what we have to compare it to.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon is a great runner, okay? He's a great guy to have as a backup. As Rich mentioned after the game, they're in a really good situation with all the quarterbacks they have and with so many schools losing their quarterbacks to injuries. I mean, look at Oregon. They're like a shell of themselves.
I mean, Braxton Burmeister was supposed to be the guy, and who knows how much different this would look, because I know the staff loved him, and he's struggling in Oregon. So
I mean, I think similar to Khalil last year, Braxton Burmeister shouldn't be playing this year. I mean, very few true freshmen can come in and have an impact. Speaking of which, Kylan Wilborn, a true freshman, had 4 sacks tonight, plus a forced fumble for the Arizona defense. The position he plays is called stud. And he is playing like a stud. This is maybe the biggest impact freshman they've had on defense since
Scooby, right?
Yeah. What do you see out of Kylan? I see a lot of determination.
Yeah. I mean, he just keeps getting better every week too. That's one thing you want to see, because some guys, when there's no film on them in the beginning of a season, they can kind of make some plays and then you see them fade away. But he came out and had 4 sacks tonight, the best game of the season. He's been pretty good all season, but I don't know. He just, to have that level of pass rushing ability as a true freshman just bodes so well for his future. Like the sky's the limit. I mean, I talked to him earlier this week, and he's more comfortable. Like he's just talking about how comfortable he is out there, and you said he's relentless, and it's just so interesting. All their best players are young. Like he's a freshman. Khalil Tate's a sophomore. Jace Whitaker had 2 interceptions. He's emerging. He's a junior. Like this is a team with I know we're in this season right now, but it's a team you got to be excited about the future, which we haven't been saying that since 2 years ago.
Right. Kylan has made a play of some sort in every game.
Yeah.
Whether it's stripping the ball, tackle for loss. Today he broke out with all the sacks. I think having DeAndre Miller back helps him too. He's fresher. He doesn't have to play as many snaps. They've talked about that over and over. Now, they did lose some guys on defense. Scotty Young got injured in this game. We don't know his status going forward. Luca Bruno did not play because of the concussion. Parker Zellers got ejected in the second half because of a very debatable targeting call. I have no idea what targeting is. I saw one earlier today that I thought was targeting. That wasn't. I thought that Parker's wasn't, and it was. He will miss the first half of the Cal game next week. There were some other problems too. Special teams was kind of a train wreck. The snapping has been an issue since Nick Reinhardt got hurt. Rush defense is an issue. There were more penalties tonight, but you know what? As Rich always says, you'd much rather coach off of a win than a loss, and they like it. The coaches love it when there's a few things that go wrong, but they win the game anyway.
Something to coach up, yeah.
So here we are, Zach. We're halfway through the season. They've got some problems, but things are looking promising. What's your sense of where this team can go from here with 6 games to go, 2 games away from bowl eligibility, or who knows, even something beyond that?
I mean, yeah, that's the. I mean, as you pointed out to me earlier, they already have more wins than they did last year. Like, just think about that for a second. They have more wins than they did the entire last season. So it's just amazing. You know, a few weeks ago, we probably were debating still whether they even had a shot at getting to 6 wins, whether 5 wins was their ceiling. And now we're like, okay, they're probably going to make a bowl game unless things just go haywire. And what's beyond that? You know, USC probably is a step above everybody else in the South, but in Arizona finished 2nd in the Pac-12 South. Like, they were picked to finish last.
It's not inconceivable, right? I mean, when you look at the upcoming schedule, Cal obviously looked amazing against Washington State, but they were 0-3. But they were 0-3 in the Pac-12 coming into that game, and they could have a bit of a letdown after that performance. Washington State looked terrible all of a sudden, and that's going to be a game where Arizona has a ton of motivation after being embarrassed against them last year. Oregon State looms on the schedule. I mean, you sort of view that as almost a sure win.
ASU's a toss-up. Oregon's beat up.
Even Oregon with no quarterback, if they don't have their quarterback, I mean, that might even be a winnable game. So who knows what's out there, but it seems like all of a sudden there are a lot of possibilities.
It's fun,
right?
It's fun again.
It is fun again. All right. Thank you for watching the Arizona Wildcats postgame report. Please check out all of our work at Tucson.com as well as the free Wildcaster app. For Zach, I'm Michael. We'll see you next time.